Hey guys, this is Bear Gaming and welcome back to our channel. For today, we are going to have another hero spotlight and this is going to be for Neomi. So just a little story time. I was able to record a video before this one and good thing that Master Ulur happened to pass by in our streaming session and he informed me that he cannot hear my voice. So I checked the settings. Of course, I have to delete my video because it's quite useless if you cannot hear me. So I found out that probably I accidentally muted my microphone. So it's too bad because I have to start all over again, but it's okay. So here we are in the air squadron. On the right side portion of the screen you can see the journal button. Just tap it and tap heroes and this will show you the list of heroes that's currently available here in Exos Heroes. And here is Neomi.
Victory is a victory. Enjoy it.
So first, let's check out her skill set or skill kit. This is the passive. Great Determination grants a barrier equal to 50% of own defense to self and all back row allies for 8 turns at the start of round, 1 time per 2 rounds. And then, when enemy performs an area attack, grants share held to all back row allies before the attack hits to transfer 20% of damage received to self for 12 turns. That's really nice. The first skill is Proof of Commitment. Deals 187% damage to one enemy and 60% chance to afflict target with stun for 4 turns. Next is the second skill, Millennial Knight. Cleanses all debuffs from self, grants immunity to self for 8 turns, and grants tranquility to self to protect from death 1 time. Immunity to self for 8 turns. That's something. Immunity to damage, right? So that means for 8 turns, he won't be able to receive damage. So, let's check her out further over here. You can see she's wearing this black glove on her left hand. This is the default mode and this is the battle mode. You can see she has this really unique attire or outfit.
Peace
This is the appearance effect.
feeds on blood.
Queen of Brunn Neomi, and you can see the appearance effect is really focused on her left hand. This is the illustration. And now let's go to the skill preview. That's the normal attack, and you can see whenever she attacks, there's this green glyph or green light that's appearing.
Let me show you
The first
power
skill.
that's protected Brunn for generations.
So her power is on her left hand because you can see the first skill. She removed her glove and then that's the power.
Take a good look. This is the power of Brunn.
This is the second skill, and you can see more green lights or green glyphs effect. That's actually nice. Now let's check out her story. Guardian Neomi. Sex is female, nation Brunn, hero tier fated or fated grade hero, element is nature, she's 27 years old, race is human, position defense or defense type hero, birthday is on May 16. Young Chief of Brunn. Neomi was born the second daughter of a family that had ruled Brunn for generations. By the time Neomi had grown up, her father had already been the great chief that had integrated Brunn. Her sister, Carrie, was also a prodigy with unprecedented talent. So Neomi began to train her body to assist her proud sister. Fortunately, Neomi was quite talented in martial arts. But her plans began to change as Carrie became Queen of Saint West. After Carrie, who had believed she would rule Brunn in the future, left, her father's sudden death made Neomi the successor of Great Chief. It was like an inevitable disaster for Neomi, who was not prepared nor had the political acumen to overcome the situation. Then a helping hand came to her, Dorka, whose identity is unknown, but whose skills are superior to anyone else. Kylok, Brunn's best shaman, who has been criticized by the public for his peculiar madness, Naomi's choice of the two was enough to make her, in name and reality, Brunn's supreme power. Although only God knows how long that near balance will last. So that's the side story or background story of Naomi. Now let's check her Fatecore. If I remember correctly, she has two Fatecores only, and one of them is the Gold Fatecore. So over here in the Fatecores button, you can see the Great Brunn, and just in perfect time, this is currently the Choice Fatecore, and it was just updated this morning. Choice Fatecore or Banner, so you are able to have the chance to get Neomi. Over here, the Great Brunn Fatecore theme, you can see Neomi as the Gold Fatecore, and there's Garth for the Blue Fatecore, and for the two Black Fatecores, there's Ulum and Burnavas. And this is also kinda similar to the Diastrophism Fatecore theme wherein it's gender bent. So for this time, since Neomi's fated version or original version is a female, for the Gold Fatecore, he's actually a male over here. So Dominator Neomi from a parallel world who has established a proper kingdom instead of a barbaric tribal nation, but has sacrificed many things in order to make Brunn great, but he does not regret any of it. Now let's check the passive, Great Determination. You can see the additional special passives over here. Flag of Providence, this is the Great Brunn Fatecore theme special passive, increases defense by 20% for each back row hero and attack by 20% for each front row hero at the start of battle. And then there's Evocation. This is the Gold Fatecore special passive. Grants 1 mana to all allies equipped with Great Brunn Fatecore theme at the start of battle, and you can see the heroes over here on the right side. They will be able to benefit from the Evocation passive. The first and second skill is just the same. And now, let's take a closer look. So for this Fatecore of Neomi, he's actually a guy. And you can see his left arm is kind of covered when he's standing. And the designs in his clothes are quite the same to his fated version. Not really that the same, but it's kind of the same. This is the default mode, and this is the battle mode. And for the exclusive equipment, we cannot actually see this because this is not actually a gear or equipment that he's holding. So you cannot see it over here. And this is the appearance effect.
You're calling me a tyrant? Interesting.
Dominator Neomi. So if you're curious about his exclusive equipment, you can just press the back button, and on the lower right portion of the screen, you can see this exclusive equipment button. Just press it and you can see this Wrathful 8 trigrams. Trigrams? 3 grams? I think it's trigrams. Collection effect, Neomi's attack will be increased to 30 and combat power by 10,000. Neomi's exclusive equipment, a weapon that has a long history of being passed down amongst the patriarchs of Brunn in a parallel world. So this is passed among the men. Imbued the energy of an auspicious dragon, it is said to bring fortune to the tribe while bringing down a secret retribution upon the enemies. So that's what the trigrams look like. They are like the poles, or what do you call that? Poles? Or they're not like lance-like things. Anyway, let's equip it first. And let's check the skill animation. So probably those are the trigrams, those spear-like things. Wait, if we are going to remove that, can we still see it? Ah, okay. So you can see the basic attack. That's the green glyph, right? If you're not equipping the exclusive equipment, but if you happen to equip it, you can see the normal attack again. So there's the change of color and structure. It's no longer green, but instead it's gold and black. And you can really clearly see the trigrams flying towards the enemy.
It's starting to get boring.
Now, this is the first skill. Okay, you can see the trigrams there. Okay, and the second skill.
I shall deal with this.
Ooh, dragon effect. Oh, and you can see the trigrams again there. It's much bigger compared to his normal attack. That's a very nice skill animation. It has this Asian or Eastern effect to it, which I find it really amazing. Now, let's check out her or his other Fatecore. This is the Events Fatecore team, and most of the Fatecores here are kinda rare in my own terms because you really need to use blue crystals in order for you to get it. And you can see here, this one's for Neomi, Midnight Largo Neomi. Neomi in a parallel world enjoying the party life. She had only intended to check out the party at first, but she's been quite satisfied from observing the surprising turn of events that occurred throughout the party. So just like any other Orange Fatecore, it doesn't have any special skills or passive that's added. There's none. You can see here, she's wearing this leather suit. This really looks sophisticated. This is the default mode, and this is the battle mode. And it seems like she's always ready to punch someone. Skill preview. So it's just the same as her fated version.
But I should finish what I started.
But you can listen to the lines, what she's saying. It's different compared to the fated version.
This party should not be underestimated.
That looks nice. So this is the Orange Fatecore of Neomi. Okay, she only has 2 Fatecores currently. Now let's check the Manage Heroes button. And
I am the King's
currently,
Guard. You want
I'm
to
using Neomi
Send my
in my third
greetings to
team
the
because
Reaper.
I'm using a nation-based team. So I'm using Brunn. And she's under Brunn. And if you happen to complete or finish Dorca's signature force, Neomi will be able to benefit from it, I mean. So this is my Neomi. I happen to dye his costume or attire into blue instead of the darker color, but I remained what am I trying to say? I mean, for the gold accents on his costume, I just remain it as it is. I didn't change it. I happen to fuse my Gold Fatecore Neomi to 5 already. That's the max. But currently, I don't have the exclusive equipment yet. For the artifacts, and like any other defense type heroes, these are the possible artifacts that we can equip on Neomi. So currently, I just used Righteous Mercy Olivia. It says here, decrease damage received by all allies besides self by 14% while alive. So I think this can go hand in hand with his second buff over here. When enemy performs an area attack, grants share health to all back row allies before the attack hits to transfer 20%. I'm not saying that this will have some effect based on my current equipped artifact, but I think this can go hand in hand. But if you don't have this, there's always the orange Fatecores. They're not orange Fatecores. I mean artifacts. You can really observe that sometimes I get mixed up with the different terminologies here in the game. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Orange artifact. This is kinda hard to get, but you can see, like for this one, Golden Fury Ulex, it says here grants decreased area piercing damage by 52% to all allies. So this is good for those enemies that have piercing damage and also all allies. So this works for area of effect damage. So this is also good for Neomi if you happen to have it. Boundary of Life and Death VV, 20% chance to destroy a random Guardian Stone. Okay, that's good. Infinite Chain Pamian, chance to gain mana for every 2 back row allies. 1 mana for every 2 back row. So currently, the setup or what do you call this? Battle formation for my third team, Brunn. The back row allies are only 2. There's Dorka and Kylok. So with 75% chance, he'll be able to get 1 mana. But if you put Neomi alone in front and there's 4 back row allies, he will be able to get 2. Because it says here gains 1 mana for every 2 back row allies. So in case there's 4, that means he'll be able to receive 2 mana with a 75% chance. If you have 1 copy, and probably if you're going to transcend this artifact or promote this artifact 5 times, the 75%, I think it will be 100. There's also this 50% chance to revive with 30% health upon dying. That's also good. Well, I guess you can see the pattern. We've discussed different heroes for our hero spotlight segment here in our channel. So we are able to discuss all of the different types of heroes: attack type, support type, defense type, chaos type. Well, there's only 4, and you can see there's a pattern. The recommended artifacts that I recommend you to use. Excuse me. It seems that I want to cough again. If you remember my previous video, like 2 weeks ago, I already mentioned that I have the coughs and cold, but it seems they're back again, probably because of the weather. Excuse me about that, guys. I'm really trying not to cough for so long, but it really wants to go out. Maybe it's because of the weather. It's almost Christmas, and even though Philippines is a tropical country, the wind gets colder by November, and this will last up to probably end of February. So you know, the change of weather, sometimes it has a different reaction towards the people, and towards me personally. Sometimes I get the coughs and cold during this season. So anyway, let's go back to the artifacts. If you don't have the orange Fatecore, here I go again with the Fatecore. It's artifacts. We are talking about the artifacts now. If you don't have those orange artifacts, you can always get the purple ones because they are easier to get. This Bloody Battle of Extremes Leonard, 74% chance. Oh well, it's 74 because I've already transcended this or promote this several times. The level is already 24. So I'm not going to say the percentage anymore. So instead of chance to grant 30% reflect damage to self for 3 turns. This is good. This will grant Neomi reflect damage. And if you don't have it, this is also good. Grants a barrier equal to 30% of own max health to an ally with the highest attack. This is good. And also this one. Chance to increase critical resist rate by 10% for 4 turns. Now, let's go to the equipment. So, if you remember his passive, the second line here, when enemy performs an area attack... Oh, wait. The first one, sorry. grants a barrier equal to 50% of own defense. So that means we need to increase his defense so that this 50% will be bigger. That's why I equip him with 2 fortification sets, because with fortification set, this is a 2-piece set. This increases your defense by 20%. So if you happen to have 2 of this, 20 and 20 is 40. So that means there will be a 40% increase of defense. If you want to go all the way and use 3 sets of fortification, it's up to you. But currently I just put 2. And for the other 2-piece, I use vitality set because this works with 2-piece also. So the possible gear set for Neomi is fortification. I suggest you do that because this we want to make use of this grants a barrier equal to 50% of own defense. So aside from that, you can also use resistance set. That's also good in order for him not to be afflicted with any of the status effect like modification, stun, poison, and stuff like that. So for the gloves, I just use defense 60% as the main stat. Again, you can play around with the substats, the 4 lines. Currently, I have here effect resist, HP, attack speed. So attack speed is also good for knights, especially if they have debuffs. Currently, Neomi has 1 on his second skill, right? Yes, second skill. You can see 60% chance to afflict target with stun for 4 turns, so that's good if you have effect hit in order for that 60% chance to take place. But currently, I suggest, I decided not to use this, but instead just go with the defense. If you happen to check my stats, again, this is not recommended. This is just for me personally. And currently, I'm still playing around or experimenting with my hero's gears. I have to change this sooner or later for improvement purposes, of course, because there's always room for improvement here in the game. Currently, my effect hit is really low. It's just 18%, but sometimes I could see the stun taking place on rare occasion, because 18% for effect hit is quite low, especially if your characters have debuffs. So currently, my defense is 32,355. I'm not sure. I'm not really keen or really paying attention when it comes to the stats. I don't know if it's already high enough, except for critical hit rate, because it has a what do you call this? Capping, which is 100%. But for the rest, I still need to learn about it. But anyway, also for the accessory and boots, so I also put defense as the main line. Instead of for boots, it should be attack speed. I don't know. Probably I just want to experiment with this to make use of the defense, and I want my team to be really tanky. So for the 4 lines, I suggest go for HP, defense, attack speed, and effect resist. That's really good in general for knights. So you can see me here, I have attack and critical hit rate lines. Well, I still have to change this because for me, in my own opinion, damage dealing lines are really not for knights. So I should have put here or acquired a gear with attack speed, probably HP, effect resist, defense, I guess, effect resist, or attack speed. That would be good. And like I said in my previous videos, I'm not an expert when it comes to gears. There's a lot of ways for you to equip gears on your heroes. It's up to you. I'm just giving you the average or the basic idea of what you should put on your heroes. And since Neomi is a knight type or defense type heroes, go with fortification, HP, effect resist, and for the artifacts I already show you. the possibilities which you can equip on him. And for the gears particularly, I always check out their passive, and this is where I determine what gears I should put. And since it says there about something about defense, therefore I use the fortification set. It's up to you to play, mix and match maybe. Over here, for the accessory and gloves, you can go for defense. And probably for the boots, you can go for speed if you like to. But for the substats, the 4 lines, I suggest you'd go for HP, fortification, effect resist, and attack speed. That will make your Neomi tanky. If you want him to be speedy and yet tanky, probably you can do dash set, but put all the main stats and substats towards the tanky side. So that will be all, guys, for today. We discussed about Neomi, different Fatecores that he currently has or she has. I don't want to get confused with the pronouns, but since I'm using the Gold Fatecore, therefore Neomi is a he for me. And I just don't have the exclusive equipment currently for him. I'm still thinking about if I should get it or not because it cost about 20,000 cess. And you know, with 20,000 cess, you can already pull up to PT. For gold or blue Fatecores, that is. And for the possible artifacts as well, we've discussed. So anyway, guys, that will be all for today. I really want to cough again, so I better cut this short because I really don't want to cough here when I'm talking to you. Anyway, guys, please do subscribe to my Twitch channel and also for my YouTube channel as well, where you can see all of my other Exos Heroes content and other games as well. This is Bear Gaming. Have a good night, everyone.